Okay, so get this. We're diving into this whole thing, this dilemma that pops up with game devs, to announce, or not to announce, a new feature.
The eternal struggle.
Exactly. And you know what? We've got a prime example today, a real humdinger. Stormworks. Build and rescue. Ever heard of it?
Oh, absolutely. A game after my own heart, that one.
Right. Where players build the coolest stuff. I mean, we're talking crazy detailed ships, helicopters that actually fly in the game.
We even built a working aircraft carrier. It's insane.
No way! Seriously?
Yeah, I saw the screenshots. It's mind-blowing, the stuff these players come up with.
See, that's what makes this whole topic so juicy. You've got this incredibly passionate community.
And not just players. They're like engineers, artists, all rolled into one.
And they are hungry for any scrap of news about the game's future.
Which puts the devs in a tough spot, right?
Totally. Because on the one hand, you want to keep them excited, share what you're working on.
Build that hype, get people talking.
But then there's the flip side. What if things change during development? What if that awesome new feature you promised just doesn't work out?
You've got players who've been waiting, sometimes for months, and suddenly, bam, their hopes are dashed. It's a recipe for disaster.
Which brings us to this recent dev update that's got everyone talking. First off, they're upfront about working on cool stuff, new features for Stormworks.
Even hinted at a whole new game.
Right. But here's the kicker. They're really struggling with how much to reveal.
Now, you can't blame them. Game development is messy. Things change. Unexpected problems crop up.
It's like that time, I'm totally making this up, where they tried to add like realistic fire to the game.
And accidentally set the entire virtual ocean ablaze.
Okay, maybe not quite that dramatic, but you get the idea.
Point is, if you announce something too early and then it changes or gets scrapped, oof, talk about a PR nightmare.
Players get understandably upset. They feel like they've been lied to.
Trust is broken, and it can be really hard to rebuild that.
Which is, I'm guessing, why this dev update is so interesting. They're basically saying, hey, we hear you. We want to be transparent, BUT.
But they're also trying to protect themselves, protect the game, and honestly protect the players from that potential disappointment.
Right, and you can almost feel them like wrestling with this dilemma in their words, you know? There's this one line in the update that really jumped out at me. They said, our strategy is to develop the new feature, test it, get it ready to release, and only then think about telling players about it.
Whoa. Talk about managing expectations.
Right, like on the one hand, I get it, but on the other hand, is that really the best way to handle things?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And judging by the comments from the Stormworks community, there are a lot of different opinions on that.
It's like we're getting a glimpse behind the curtain, right? Like peeking into the dev team's war room and seeing how they grapple with keeping everyone happy.
And it's not an easy task,
Yep.
especially with a game like Stormworks. We're not talking about some casual mobile game here.
Oh, absolutely not. The stuff these players build, the sheer complexity.
These are hardcore engineers, problem solvers.
They want to be involved, you know.
Exactly, which is why those player comments we talked about, they're not just like, oh, give us more updates. It's deeper than that.
Oh, way deeper. Like Pungent Pickle, for example. Remember that one?
Pungent Pickle. Oh, yeah. I loved that suggestion.
Right. Talk about a memorable username. But seriously, their idea was golden. Use those quiet periods when the devs are busy, you know, actually developing.
To engage the community in other ways.
Exactly. Like polls, for example.
Yeah.
Hey, players, should this new vehicle part be made of steel or titanium? You know?
Yeah.
Get people talking, get them invested.
It's brilliant. Turns those periods of radio silence into opportunities.
Right. Makes the players feel even more like
They're part of the process.
yes, not just along for the ride.
And that sense of ownership, that can be incredibly powerful for a community.
Totally. But then again, you've got players like, what was that name? The one who loves the weekly updates.
Magnum PI.
Magnum PI, yes.
Their point was all about consistency.
Right. Keep those updates coming, even if there's nothing major to announce.
Just that little ping, that little, hey, we're still here, still working away, it can go a long way.
It's like a heartbeat, right? Reassures everyone that the game's alive and well.
Exactly.
In fact, okay, get this. Magnum PI actually said, and I quote, weekly updates give us the most important thing of all, communication. It shows us that you have us in your mind.
That's kind of sweet when you think about it.
Great. And you can't really argue with that, can you?
Not really. It shows that it's not just about what you communicate, but how you do it. It's about building that relationship, that trust.
Totally. And then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you've got players saying, hey, Why not just take a page from those other games?
The ones that are constantly teasing new features, showing behind-the-scenes glimpses.
Exactly. Keeping the hype train running at full speed.
Risky strategy, though.
Oh, for sure. High risk, high reward. You get people hyped up too early, and if something goes wrong,
It can backfire spectacularly.
big time. So the devs are kind of in this catch-22, damned if they do, damned if they don't.
Which brings us to another layer of this whole communication onion, and it's a tricky one. Credit.
Ah, yes. Giving credit where credit is due.
Remember the screenshots we were talking about earlier? The ones in the aircraft carrier, the incredible vehicles?
And the devs were like, yeah, we want to showcase this awesome stuff, but...
But who do they credit?
Right. It's not always clear-cut, especially in a game like Stormworks where people are constantly collaborating, sharing designs.
It's like a giant melting pot of creativity.
And the last thing you want to do is accidentally attribute someone else's hard work to the wrong person.
Talk about a community management nightmare.
Seriously, it's like walking through a minefield. One wrong step and boom, it's a pickle, isn't it? They want to show off how awesome the players are.
But avoid a total meltdown if the wrong person gets the shout out.
Exactly. Which kind of brings us back to the bigger picture, doesn't it? Like
This whole communication puzzle.
oh, absolutely. It's not as easy as just, being completely open all the time.
Right, like lifting the hood and letting everyone poke around.
Yeah.
No. Game dev's way more complicated than that.
It's like trying to explain how a car engine works while it's like going 100 miles an hour.
And rebuilding itself at the same time?
Huh. Exactly. So where does that leave us with these different communication styles? Like, is it better to be the constant update person, even if it's just small stuff?
Or do you go radio silent and then, bam, hit them with a big reveal?
Yeah. Like, what's the best approach here?
Honestly, there's no magic formula. Every game, every community,
Yeah.
they're all different.
True.
The real trick, I think, is knowing your audience.
And finding that sweet spot where everyone feels
Heard, informed,
Yeah.
not left in the dark for too long.
Yeah. All of that. And that's what I find so fascinating about this whole thing. It's like this balancing act,
Transparency versus managing expectations.
Exactly. And let's not forget the human side of it all.
Oh, absolutely. The passion, the excitement, even the frustration sometimes.
Because at the end of the day, games are about people, right?
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Mm-hmm.
The people who pour their hearts into making them.
And the people who connect with those games on such a deep level.
It's that connection, that back and forth. That's what makes the gaming world so special,
Couldn't agree more. Well, there you have it, folks. The to announce or not to announce dilemma. It's messy, it's complicated,
And there's no easy answers.
but hey, that's game dev for you, always keeping us on our toes. So until next time, keep on building, keep on gaming, and most importantly,
Keep the conversation going.
Alex and Ian, deep dive.